Perhaps you thought I was dead, but it turns out I'm still living!
Hello, me pals. I am Jonah54, and well, you probably noticed there was a bit of a video drought recently. I came back a couple days ago for the Just Shapes and Beats all videos, or all main levels S-ranked. And that was mainly because it was a holiday special, and I wanted to get that out around the time of the holiday, of course. In my typical fashion, I didn't get it up in time. No, I just straight up didn't get it up in time. I was checking, it's like, is there a time zone that exists where I did actually get it up? Nope. What if I'm late? Highly unfortunate, but it's something I'm sure we've all gotten used to here at the channel of Jonah54. But better late than never has become my motto. And that's basically going to be the motto of a lot of videos that will be going up shortly after this one. Because, well, we will get to what caused that video drought, but first, we have a lot of other things to catch up on, because my most recent vlog came before this semester began, and the semester is now more than halfway done. So, did you know that data structures, that's where we left off. That is where we left off. And yeah, let me tell you something. That's basically been my semester. It is nothing but data structures. It has lived up to its reputation of being the hardest class in the school. I don't have an option whether or not I want to take it because it is required for my major. Boy, isn't that great. But hey, I think we're done with most of the most difficult parts of the class at the very least. So, from this point onward, as long as I don't fucking die, we should be good. We should survive. That's the important part, right? Coming out still living! And that is the truest meta. All the other classes, as expected, pale in comparison to both difficulty and time complexity. When it comes to data structures, DiffyQ is kind of difficult, but it's nothing compared to it. Intro to ECSE, kind of difficult, nothing compared to it. Engineering Communications, the first month was hard because we had to use NX, and NX sucks, but after that it's actually really easy, so yeah. That's basically been consuming me since the beginning of the semester began, as well as various other things that I'm trying to set up for the future. And thankfully, I've been, one of the reasons that this has taken so long is because I've been waiting quite some time to do this vlog, because I wanted to get results back on something. Let's get there first though. So, the semester was going basically normally throughout most of January. You know, typical stuff, videos, data structures, lots more data structures. And then everything changed when the nation attacked that was composed of exam 1 of data structures. That basically marked the point where everything changed. It wasn't because of the exam though. It was just because of all the stuff that happened immediately following the exam. Immediately following the exam was Genesis 6, which I watched instead of the Super Bowl, which turned out to be a great choice because the Super Bowl was apparently extremely disappointing both in the actual game, which I never care about anyway, the commercials, which doesn't surprise me because the commercials have been garbage for the past 3 years. But, of course, also the halftime show, which everyone was hyping up to be SpongeBob's Sweet Victory. I knew from the very beginning that it wasn't actually going to be Sweet Victory. I'm honestly surprised that they even paid homage to SpongeBob at all. I thought they were just going to completely blow it off. I think it was even worse what they ended up doing, playing the first couple of notes and then immediately switching to sicko mode. I mean, the transition itself was actually pretty sick, but that is not what people expected or wanted. So I sat that one out and watched Genesis 6 instead, and that was, as I said, an amazing choice because Genesis 6 was one of the best tournaments I've ever watched. It was for both Super Smash Bros. Melee and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It was the first really big Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament. There had been majors before, but this was the big one. And it was the big one because it is actually the third largest attendee count for any Super Smash Bros. Series tournament, only being beaten out by 2 attendee counts, both of the same tournament, EVO 2016. The attendee counts for Melee and Smash 4. So it's only beaten out by those 2, which is insane for the first super major of the game in the Smash Bros. Series that was able to pull those numbers. And they're probably only going to grow, given how awesome the game is. I hope they grow, especially now that Melee will not be at EVO. Goes against their core values. But they will have Ultimate, and I'm not going to be watching that because I don't like what EVO has done in regards to the decisions that they've made this past year, so I'll probably be sitting that one out. Then again, I'll probably be busy doing what, you might ask? That's something we'll get to. But anyway, back to all the stuff that happened after Data Structures Exam 1. So Genesis 6 happened, it was really hype, and then that following week was another Data Structures homework, but basically the career fair was that week at my school. And so I was watching as a number of my friends had already secured or were in the process of securing internships, jobs over the summer, stuff like that. And well, I need to do that too. So I ended up going to the career fair, and there were a number of employers that stood up to me. Of course, because of all of the homework situation, and I mean, Data Structures Homework 3 was pretty tough. Data Structures Homework 4 left me completely drained to the point where I actually 100% forgot about following up with a lot of the employers from the career fair just because of how much that homework took out of me. That was probably the sickest I had been since the week in the first semester that I had 5 exams. It was bad. It was very bad. Ooh. And that's actually when the upload started slowing down, but didn't completely stop. Then a number of other things were still going on. By the end of February, that week is when things started to become a little more interesting. How you may ask? Well, that Wednesday was the day the Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct happened, and of course I watched that. I did record my reaction, but I thought the reaction was kind of lackluster, so I didn't end up uploading it. I'll probably do a discussion video with some of my other Pokemon fan friends here, but as for now, I wasn't satisfied with my reaction, so I didn't upload it. Doesn't happen very often, but it's happened a couple times. Never happens for main series reactions, really only ever happens with bonus reactions. Like the Smash Bros. Final presentation, the last one for Smash 4 at least, I wasn't satisfied with my reaction, so I didn't post that. I wasn't satisfied with the 2016 Pokemon Direct or my reaction, so I didn't post that. And I had a good reaction to the E3 2017 Nintendo Spotlight, but one of the biggest reveals didn't happen during the presentation, and it happened during Nintendo Treehouse, so I didn't feel like I had a complete reaction, so I scrapped that upload too. It happens rarely, but it still happens. Anyway, as soon as I turned off the camera, I got an email saying, "Yo, you want an interview? Because we like your credentials." The rest is history, but it's history I'll explain. Because the day after was Data Structures exam number 2. And Holy shit, it was awful. It was so bad. Oh my god. I think out of the 50-ish people who were in my exam room, I think 2 of them, out of the entire population of kids in that room, maybe 2 of them handed in their exam before time was up. And I think the second person handed their exam in because they gave up. It was bad. The average was far below the failing range. And what I got on it was slightly below the failing range. I did a little above the average, which is good, but then you find out what the average was, and you realize it was not good. It was exclamation point good. Hashtag learn the code. And the kicker was, they do this on purpose, I swear. After this brutal exam, the day after, they release the most infamous assignment in the entire school. And the day they release that is the deadline for dropping classes. So basically it's, did you witness your life flashing before your eyes last night? Okay, now look at this PDF. Are you witnessing your life flash before your eyes again? Well, then you have a little under 24 hours to escape this existential nightmare. They know. Apparently last semester, this assignment was released the day, it was released right before family weekend. That's fucked up. What's almost as fucked up is they released this one right before spring break. So we had to spend our spring breaks doing that assignment instead of doing the break part of spring break. Not that I was really planning on doing that anyway. Because over the course of spring break, that was when my 2 interviews were taking place. And yes, I said 2. I did not expect there to be 2. I found out at the end of the first interview that there was going to be a second one. And I'm glad there was, to be honest, because the structure of the 2 actually worked out pretty well. They were Skype interviews, and I have 2 Skype accounts, one that's super old and one that's newer-ish. And the newer one that I was the one that I actually ended up using for my Model G20 interview. Which, shout out to that still being the best week of my life. Go watch that vlog if you haven't already. Man, that was good. Anyways, so I had 2 Skype accounts, and I wasn't sure if they were going to choose the right one, which would be the newer-ish one. So I actually had both Skype accounts open, ready for a call on either one of them for each interview, and that's good because they called one account for my first interview and the other one for my second interview. That is the hardest read. I could have been like, they have my Skype already. They chose the right one the first time. I don't need to have both up for the second interview. Nope. So that was a hard save on my part. I don't think I'd be employed this summer, as of today, if I did not have that level of foresight. So shout out to moi. Also over break, of course, I was batch recording a ton of videos, because that was my last chance to get a significant amount of that recorded prior to me coming back here, because the next time that I will actually be home will be the end of the semester. So yeah, I'm in it for the long haul. From this point onward, yes. So all that was going on, and of course, I was trying to become a better driver because at the beginning of the break, I was quite inexperienced, and I still kind of am. And I still need to get my goddamn license. which is, of course, the process varies from state to state. In Massachusetts, it's not easy. It's not easy. You have to do a lot of road hours and a lot of lessons. And I don't think you have to do those if you're 18, but I still want to do those for the experience and for the knowledge. So I'm still going to be doing those anyway. A lot of my friends were talking about how in their state, which, for example, in New Jersey, apparently you only have to take like 3 super quick lessons and there's no road hour requirement. Oh my god. The differences are ridiculous. And I got the excessively long end of the stick on that regard. But I'm living! I'm still living! And that's basically been the story. And of course, the other thing I was doing over spring break was working on that assignment. And I can safely say it was probably the hardest homework assignment of my life. It is homework 6 of data structures. Though anybody who's watching this video who has taken that class probably just got a lapse of post-traumatic stress disorder because it has lived up to its name. It was brutal, it was not forgiving, and it took everything out of me. For those who have any level of experience of coding, you may know what recursion is. It's basically where you write functions that call themselves. The term recursion relates to when you describe something in terms of itself. It's like a recursive definition, like, in physics, what's energy? Energy is the ability to do work, but what's work? It's a change of energy. Homework 6 was entirely based off of recursion. And that caused a lot of complications, especially with a programming language like C++, where it's pretty difficult to determine where exactly your code went wrong. All you know is that your segmentation has faulted and your core has dumped. What if you wanted to go to heaven, but God said, segmentation fault, core dumped? That's basically been my life for most of the calendar year of 2019. But we are still living! So it's all good. And that assignment is behind me now. I just finished homework 7, actually, and it was a joke by comparison. But the main reason that I have been holding off doing a lot of videos is because, well, I wanted my next vlog, which was what I wanted to be my next video, I wanted my next vlog to include the update about my employment status that I was waiting for. And just yesterday, I got that update. And it was some of the best news I've heard in a while. It was quite stressful though, because they were taking a lot longer than I expected to respond back to me. As soon as I prompted them with a Skype message though, not even a minute later, I got an email saying, job offer. Your boy is employed for the summer. I'm not going to be saying who I'm employed with, because that is not okay. That needs to sus. But just know it's related to my tech field, which is what I wanted. I wanted something related to my computer and systems engineering field over the summer. As for what I'll be paid, it ain't much, but it's honest work, and that's what matters. I'll be able to put experience on my resume for my next job, which actually won't be over summer of 2020 because my school does Arch. So I'll actually have classes over the summer instead, but for when I go for the fall, that's when we'll be ready. But yeah, that is what I wanted to wait for to update, because that is essentially the theme of a lot of things that have happened so far this semester, is don't celebrate too early. Even when I got the job offer, I didn't immediately pop off until I realized A, this is real. B, I'm not dreaming. And C, this is confirmation of an actual job offer, not a, we might do this. Then I popped off, and man did it feel good. But you can bet that now that I'm out of this waiting for the job offer stalemate, I can ride this momentum to the end of the semester, rich with videos to upload, rich with the ability to complete assignments, and perhaps rich with a little more spare time that I'll be using a little more wisely. And that's what matters, right? Having that good old employment status, because let's be real here. Look at my sub count. I can't sustain an income with this channel, not that I want to anyway. And besides, I don't think the way that YouTube wants me to think anyway. I'm not politically correct enough. Nothing on my channel is except maybe for my Super Mario Galaxy walkthrough. If I was big enough to the point where I, in theory, could sustain an income from my views, they would be demonetized before I could anyway. Not that I would care. Because it's something that I do for fun, but regardless, it's something that I'm committed to. So now that that good old stalemate is done, expect the videos to resume. Because I got my groove back. I'm living! And I'm ready to upload more videos. For those of you who maybe had remembered from my most recent vlog, I said that I might do a Chinese New Year video instead of a Valentine's Day video. Well, because of the complications with the offer, and homework 4, and homework 6, I've decided to actually just get rid of it and just not do the video. It was going to be a pretty cool video, actually. I do have most of it scripted and recorded, but goodness, would you look at the date and time? Or perhaps you don't have to. Okay, Google. What's today's date?
It is Wednesday, the 20th of March, 2019.
It's spring! The year of the pig has long since begun. Yeah, it's spring. Welcome to weather that is not pleasant for a New Englander. It's 50 degrees out now. And that is, I don't like that. I like low 40s, high 30s temperatures. It was so nice at the beginning of winter and like midway through winter. It would be like in the teens or lower, and I would still be wearing like nothing but like a long sleeve shirt, long pants, and my Model G20 like Letterman jacket, and I'd be totally okay. I have maybe worn my winter coat like 3 or 4 times this past winter. And that's not because this winter was warm. This winter was extremely cold. We had sub-zero temperatures here in Troy on the regular near the like midway through January and stuff. So that was just me. That was just me, a New Englander, being a New Englander. Add that to the list of reasons why I would not want to go to SoCal. Like maybe during the winter it could be tolerable, but my goodness, I can't stand summer temperatures, even here. And I'm pretty sure that my dorm still does not have air conditioning, so yeah, this is gonna be rough. And I don't want to have my window open because then bugs are gonna glitch their way into my room. So I'm kind of in a box here. And this is a new phone, by the way. Oh, new by the standards of the most recent vlog that I had. This is my first vlog that I'm recording where I have this phone. It's a wonderful Galaxy J7, which is quite the upgrade from my iPhone 5S. where its battery life was akin to a Falco in Super Smash Bros. Melee, consistently dying at 42%, which is not good for a Falco or an iPhone 5S. Got this upgrade, the battery life lasts much longer and it dies at 1% instead of 42. And it's faster, and it has more storage, and it doesn't lie about storage, and it's just better. You told me many years ago that I would be cutting all ties with Apple products as much as humanly possible. I would look at you, I would have looked at me and said, wow, I really turned into this kind of person, huh? Because back in my high school, our shop would use only Macs. And a lot of the other computer-related shops would only use Windows 7s. And a lot of them were Windows elitists, while we were just like, well, Mac is better for what we do. And they'd be like, stupid Mac, you shut the fuck up, Mac user. So yeah, that kind of made me think of Windows users that way. And then I stopped using Mac and switched to Windows. And that's when I realized, oh, videos actually render on this computer in less than the time that it takes for me to sleep. Which is saying a lot considering how little sleep I'm getting. So that's my future. A job over the summer, extremely hot temperatures, and hopefully living through the rest of the semester. With more videos to come very shortly. So yeah, I will see you then. And perhaps a lot of my other friends here at this school will see you then as well. Keep looking forward, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm not gonna sneeze. Ugh, I hate that feeling. Ugh.